The clock is ticking.
Well, another chilly spring-like afternoon unfolding. 48 to 52 degrees today. Cloudy out there with showers and winds up to about 8 miles per hour. The best time to see the showers in D.C. will be this afternoon. But if you are around the Romney area, you've got some flurries and rain and perhaps even some freezing rain mixing in there. A wintry mix going on around Romney at this hour. We'll continue to track that for you. Throughout the next few hours, you'll notice that even in the Oakland area and Cumberland, where winter weather advisory is in effect until about 2 o'clock today. Later on this afternoon, we'll transition to all rainforest, and you're looking at showers in Culpeper, Manassas, and Leesburg by 1 o'clock this afternoon. In D.C., you could get a light shower to pop up anytime 3 o'clock or after. We'll continue to see that shower activity off and on through the evening and for the next several days. Here's your 7-day forecast. The good news is that we finally get to warm up, so it feels like spring around here. We're up to 63 degrees Wednesday, near 70 by Thursday with showers. Friday, 62 degrees. Saturday, right around 60. And Easter Sunday looks dry for the most part, Ellen. Just some clouds with temperatures around 57.
Yeah, Easter Sunday could be worse. It's not too bad.
No.
Okay, Mary, out on the roads, we have a new issue down on the bottom side of the Beltway. It's the outer loop. As you're passing by Pennsylvania Avenue or Route 4, sounds like it's over on the right-hand side. Look at the delays, though. Not too bad. It could be worse down there. If you are heading out this morning, Route 5 continues to be shut down, or Point Lookout Road down in Leonardtown. This is because of a house fire at Sherry Lane. We are closed on Route 5 between Loveville Road and Sherry Lane. DC 295 southbound, we have an accident by Benning Road, and we also have an accident on BW Parkway heading southbound by Route 100. That's this accident right here. We're seeing some delays. If you're heading southbound from Baltimore, want to take 95 instead. Shady Grove Road, now back open. Red line looking good on Metro.
Weather impacts everyone, and to keep you informed, it's our job to get it right.
Now Contour from Cox gets you right to the strange stuff.
Something's coming. Something hungry for blood.
Noble stuff.
The crown must always win.
Show me something dramatic.
And orange stuff. Along with the...
Would recommend that to the Justice Department for possible prosecution. Nora?
All right, Paula, thank you so much. Linda Brown is being remembered this morning for her role in a historic Supreme Court ruling to end school segregation. Brown died Sunday in Topeka, Kansas. She was 75 years old. Her father sued the Topeka Board of Education when she wasn't allowed to go to an all-white school in her neighborhood. In 1954, that policy was struck down in the famous Brown versus Board of Education case. Jan Crawford is outside the Supreme Court with Linda Brown's legacy. Jan, good morning.
Good morning. The Brown family's lawsuit was joined with similar cases from other states, but it became known as Brown versus Board of Education because their name was first alphabetically. And because of that, Linda Brown became the face of a movement that changed history.
My memory of Brown began in the fall of 1950 in the quiet Kansas town of Topeka.
Linda Brown was only 7 years old when her father, Reverend Oliver Brown, marched her to an all-white school 4 blocks from their home. He wanted to enroll her so she wouldn't have to walk to the all-black school 2 miles across town.
I can remember that walk. I could only make half of it some days because the cold would get too bitter for a small child to bear.
When her enrollment was denied, the Reverend sued the Topeka Board of Education. The case made its way to the Supreme Court, which rejected the separate but equal doctrine. The decision led to the desegregation of schools. Brown became the fearless face of the movement and was celebrated for her role in the historic decision. Carolyn Campbell was Brown's longtime friend.
It was very difficult for her as a young person to be thrown in the spotlight because she was a quiet person. She grew into that responsibility of what Brown v. Board meant to the world.
She embraced that responsibility and continued to fight for full integration throughout her life. Georgetown University professor Michael Eric Dyson studies race in America.
Linda Brown was a fighter. She saw that it was necessary to carry on the fight beyond the initial decision and ruling. Her name will go down in history as a hallmark and a benchmark of what happens when justice is pursued with vigor by people whose backs are against the wall, but who are determined to provide a better future for their children.
Brown lived in Topeka until her death. Funeral arrangements have not yet been set. But in a tweet yesterday, filmmaker Ava DuVernay called her a hero. And Apple CEO Tim Cook tweeted, "Thank you, Linda Brown, for what you stood up for and the impact it had on this nation." Gail?
Oh, it really did. Listen, 1954 was the year I was born, so as a woman of color, I certainly feel really a sense of debt of gratitude to her. But reading about her, she said when the decision came in, the thing that made her happiest was that her little sister wouldn't have to walk as far as she did. She was thinking about her little sister.
Right. Imagine being put in that position when you're 7 years old.
It should also be noted, too, it had far-reaching consequences, and Jen knows this better than I did, because 1896, Plessy v. Ferguson established that separate but equal. So it extended beyond two schools, striking down Plessy v. Ferguson. So, an amazing woman.
She left us with
amazing family. Amazing family.
Yep. Parents, you're right about that. Left us with quite a legacy. Jan, we thank you again. The race to put self-driving cars on our roads face a new obstacle after Arizona's governor suspended some autonomous vehicle tests. Roadshow's Tim Stevens is in Studio 57. He's in our green room right there ahead. How the recent fatal crash involving an Uber self-driving SUV could slow that technology down. But first, it is 8:09. Time to check the local weather.
It is a little brisk as you step outside and cloudy. 37 degrees will top out at 49 degrees. Here's how your day breaks down. By noon, 45. A stray shower is possible by 3 p.m. with a temperature of 49 and 48 degrees by 5 o'clock this afternoon. And you're looking at a little pop-up shower making its way into the forecast there. The warm-up starts tomorrow with the high of 63 with rain, 69 Thursday with showers.
In 2015, former President Jimmy Carter thought he had just weeks to live, but now he's thriving and out with a brand new book.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you, Mr. President?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Yes, so nice to see you. Good. I had our candid conversation with the former president, including how he prepared to say goodbye when he learned about his cancer diagnosis, that his melanoma had spread. He's good now. You're watching CBS This Morning.
Ross Spring Shoe Event.
Beautiful voice. Musician Sting composed the theme song for a new show in Rome that's bringing history to life. The production uses special effects to transform how people experience Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel masterpiece. A director who's designed Olympic ceremonies created the show with the Vatican's permission. Of course, Seth Doan, one of the lucky ones, got a ticket and takes us behind the scenes. He's in Rome near the Sistine Chapel. Seth, good morning.
Take a look at this view of St. Peter's Basilica, and behind it, the Sistine Chapel. About 6 million people visit the Sistine Chapel every year. And now, just down the road at a theater, it is possible to see it in a way it has never been seen before.
Lasers, lights, and a thunderous sound system add a distinctly modern dimension to a story that's roughly 500 years old. Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel. Images fill the theater. It's an immersive experience that even its creative director, Marco Balic, has a hard time describing.
It's easier to say what is not. There is ballet, but it's not a ballet. There is a lot of beautiful music by John Metcalfe and Sting, but it's not a musical. It's a very technological show.
Balic treated Michelangelo as a sort of superhero, whose frescoes in digital form turn Rome's former symphony hall into a second Sistine Chapel.
What did you think? Cosa ne pensi dello spettacolo?
Bellissimo, bellissimo.
You liked it.
Balic has had some practice staging a spectacle, notably the closing ceremony of the Sochi Olympic Games.
Usually we do a one-off. So it's a hitchhike, and it's finished, and it's gone. This time, it keeps going. I open up the door to the fake Sistine Chapel.
Oh,
perfect. Those are the kind
Balic
of
let us peek backstage to see how the show works.
I don't know that I need to wear.
what the cast wears,
know that it's,
and how he took inspiration from spectacles the Catholic Church has staged.
This is the coffin of John Paul II, which to me, which I love ceremonies, that was one of the best ceremonies I ever done.
Balich takes images that visitors strain to see in real life and expands and animates them. He pushed to create this production and got the blessing of the Vatican. The one skeptical Italian columnist wasn't so nice, calling all of the special effects visual Viagra.
When you hear critics say this is just too much, it's all show.
They told me every time they said, oh, but it's like Disney. And I said, but Disney is a genius. What's wrong with it?
Marco told us he finds inspiration from, of all places, rides at theme parks, which he says are particularly immersive experiences for audiences. And he says he knows he's done a good job when he looks around an audience and doesn't see people on their cell phones. Nora?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's a good
Can you capture
barometer.
the full attention of everyone?
My favorite quote of the day. That is ballet, but it's not a ballet.
Listen, I don't know Italian, but we do know bellissimo. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
All right, Seth Doan, thank you as always. Leslie Odom Jr. learned some tough lessons about failure before achieving success. Ahead, the former Hamilton star will be here to talk about his new book, Failing Up. Your local news is next.
Cool and cloudy, not exactly the forecast you want on a spring day, right? 37 as you step out, will top out at 49. By noon, you'll see temperatures right around 45, 49 by 3 p.m. and 48 by 5 o'clock this afternoon. So we are on the lookout for some winter weather as you head toward Cumberland and Oakland, where you could get some rain and sleet, some rain and some flurries, along with rain and sleet as well. So also around D.C., just some showers there because we'll have temperatures warm enough to support just rain. Light showers, not any heavy downpours out there, but you could see that potentially a drop during the Nationals game. Alan?
Mary, I'm looking at the food over here. I'm glad you went long. We're talking about traffic. As you're heading out this morning, the outer loop of the Beltway looks much better by Route 4, Pennsylvania Avenue. We do still have our closure on Route 5, Point Lookout Road down in Leonardtown. Closure between Loveville Road and Sherry Lane, where we have this house fire going on. We have a new emergency happening on the outer loop of the Beltway by New Hampshire Avenue. That's a medical emergency there. And Marquette, 395 southbound. We still have our accident at the 14th Street Bridge. What is coming up here on Great Day?
Well, we are sharing your innermost thoughts and secrets with the founder of Post Secret, Frank Warren. Now, we have some postcards. We're going to be talking about that and so much more. Plus, college debt. It's actually higher than credit card debt nationwide. We're going to tell you how to fix yours coming up at 9.
Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Right now, it's time to show you some of this morning's headlines. The Philadelphia Inquirer reports the world keeps using more antibiotics and it's making us sick. From 2000 to 2015, the total number of doses consumed in 76 countries climbed by 65%. The overuse of antibiotics is causing an inability to treat minor infections. The U.S. remains the leading user worldwide.
The Washington Post reports Wall Street's average bonus in 2017 was 3 times what most U.S. households made all year. Last year, the average banker's bonus in New York City was $184,220, which compares with about $60,000 for the median household. That's the biggest since before the financial crisis. Total bonuses jumped 17% from the year before. It was helped by a rebound for bank stocks, faster growth, and deregulation.
And the San Francisco Chronicle reports an Uber driver accidentally took his car into some steps. Oops. The driver said he was on the way to pick up a rider yesterday afternoon when he took a wrong turn in a supermarket parking lot. His car, as you see, got stuck right there on the stairs. Nobody was hurt, we're happy to say here. The driver says he was just following GPS directions when he went the wrong way. Now, there's something about that that doesn't make any sense. You're looking at the GPS.
Wrong way.
I know, but Anthony, if it was leading you to the steps, you wouldn't drive on the steps.
Well, that's why you have to look where you're going.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's my point.
Isn't that what your parents used to say? Look where you're going.
Look where you're going.
Former President Jimmy Carter says he believes U.S. talks with North Korea could lead to that country's for a wide-ranging interview with the 93-year-old Nobel Peace Prize recipient. His new book, Faith, A Journey for All, is out today. It is published by Simon & Schuster, a division of CBS. Mr. Cartar left the White House nearly 4 decades ago, but remains a knowledgeable source on U.S. diplomacy with North Korea. You've been to North Korea 3 times.
I've been there. I've spent about 20 hours in detailed talks with the top leaders of North Korea. I think I understand what the North Koreans want. And what the leaders want is a guarantee that can be confirmed that the United States will not attack North Korea preemptively as long as North Korea stays at peace with its neighbors.
President Trump has now announced he's willing to sit down.
I'm glad to hear that and hope he'll be successful. I pray that he will. I've offered to President Trump directly on 2 occasions since he's been in office that I would be glad to help in any way, even to go to North Korea if needed. I don't want to go if I don't have to. I'm, as you said, over 93 years old, but I would be glad to do whatever he wanted me to do.
You mean hold like a preliminary meeting with Kim Jong-un before President Trump?
Whatever the president wants. It's against the law and against my principles to. If President Trump wanted me to help in any way, I would be glad to do that.
Russia, once again, back in the news, and today President Trump announcing he would expel 60 Russians from the U.S. over that poison attack in Britain. Has President Trump taken a hard enough stance against Russia's meddling?
I don't think President Trump has. One reason, I think the main reason, is that he doesn't want to admit in any way that the Russians were influential in his election. He wants to give that credit directly to the American people. And in the last few weeks, I think President Trump has shown for the first time a willingness to stand up against the policies of Russia. I think he'd go a little bit further along, but I think he's begun to change his attitude.
I'm almost embarrassed to ask this question, but you know, there's so many problems facing America and people in need, and yet there's an entire discussion about this current president and a alleged affair he had with an adult film star. What do you make of that?
It'll help the Democratic Party in 2018 and perhaps in 2020, and will be damaging to President Trump. I think most people want a president whom they trust to tell the truth always, and who has some basic moral values, including loyalty to his own wife. So in a way, it'll be damaging, but I don't think it's going to have nearly as much effect as it would have had, say, 20 years ago.
President Carter was in New York Monday to promote the release of his new book, a reflection on faith and its impact on our lives.
What number book is this?
32.
Your 32nd book.
Yeah.
I know you're not traveling as much.
No, I'm not.
It seems like you're hardly slowing down.
Well, I'm going to slow down. Rosa and I both, since Rosa's been ill, she's past 90 now, and so it's time for us to back away from some things.
I know you have had melanoma, and congratulations on being in remission now for more than 2 years.
That's right.
How's your health?
Right now, it's good.
And what do the doctors say about your prognosis?
At this point, the prognosis is good. But I'm not overconfident, but I'm a lot more confident than I was for a while, and thankful.
I know when you announced your diagnosis in 2015, you said you were surprisingly at ease. And in the book, you write that we thought that I had only a few weeks to live, and Rosalind and I began making plans for my death. What plans have you made?
Well, I called all my family together and told them that I was going to die quite soon. And I shared that information with the leaders of the Carter Center, where Rosa and I spend a lot of our time. And so I was prepared to go, but things turned out for the better.
But that's an unusual thing, to prepare to say goodbye and then be granted a great deal more time.
That's true. Well, I've been very fortunate in many ways. Yeah.
So do you think this is your last book?
I think so, but I thought the last one was my last one. And so this is been the most difficult book I've ever written. Just about faith, you know, just a simple title, because there's so many different meanings of faith.
Right, you're talking about more than just faith in God.
Well, faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in your fellow human beings, faith in the equality of people in the eyes of God.
Are you concerned that there's a lack of faith in many of these?
Yeah, well, we've lost a lot of faith in each other. The eagerness to accommodate different opinions. A lot of Americans have lost faith in themselves. We've lost faith in democracy.
Why do you think that faith is being challenged?
It's been challenged, but I still have faith in the long-term correction of our problems. I teach a Bible class every Sunday. What should I do personally as a human being? And when I ask my 200 or 300 visitors every Sunday if they think that our country can overcome the challenges it faces today, they almost unanimously respond, yes, we have confidence in America, we have faith in America, and the principles on which it was founded. So I think we still have faith in the basic rudiments of life in this country.
Wow.
Boy, Jimmy Carter's such a class act, Nora.
He is. It's a really nice book. You know, not only has he studied world religions, but he's studied so many philosophers, too, and so the book is a nice read. But he also brings up issues that I think have fallen off perhaps the front pages or the front of our minds, which are income inequality, the threat of nuclear war, the idea that, you know, he's done so much with Habitat for Humanity, that charity is one way that actually brings people together. People who may not agree with each other ideologically find a lot in common through charity. So I think a lot of values that will resonate with a lot of people.
I love that he says he's ready to slow down, but yet he's willing to go to North Korea fast. Yeah.
At 93.
Yeah, at 93, yeah. That's an easy task.
I know,
wow.
I know. It was a pleasure to spend some time with him.
Yeah, I could tell.
Former President Carter also spoke about the renewed debate over guns, and so to hear why he says students from Parkland, Florida could force a change after the school shooting, visit our website, cbsthismorning.com.
Leslie Odom Jr. is a Tony and Grammy-winning actor and a performer, but his success, he says, came after some big setbacks. He's now in our Toyota green room. There he is. Hello, Leslie Odom Jr.
Hi.
Over here. Look over here. There you are. To share his new book on failure, of all things, why he says being the worst in a dance class, hard to believe, was a gift for his career. But first, 8:39, a check of your local weather.
You'll notice more clouds today with high temperatures 48 to 52 degrees and some stray showers popping up by the afternoon. A chilly spring-like day. So here's what the rest of your day looks like. If you are traveling over to the west, you're going to notice rain and perhaps some freezing rain and sleet mixing in around the Cumberland area and also along the mountains. D.C. remains dry until the afternoon. 1 p.m. showers in Manassas and Culpeper, and about 3 o'clock you could see a stray shower popping up in the D.C. metro area.
We inform, inspire, and make a positive impact every night. The PenFed.
Let's ride together.
Cloudy and quiet in D.C., but we still have some winter weather happening on radar. You can see some snow and rain approaching the Winchester area with rain and freezing rain around Romney. Harrisonburg also receiving some snow and rain mixing in along with sleet and freezing rain. So that will persist for them until the afternoon. By the time this makes its way over to us, we're looking at all rain out of it because our temperatures should be warm enough. Cumberland also looking at some freezing rain and some sleet mixing in. Well, today we'll see high temperatures up to the 49-degree mark. Ellen, we'll see highs right there. We'll also have cloudy skies with showers. The best time to see those showers in D.C., Ellen, right around 3 o'clock or so.
Mary, all morning I've been talking about this closure on Route 5 down in Leonardtown. We're learning it's a pretty sad, serious thing that we have going on. It's a house fire. 2 children died in this, 4 others in the hospital. 2 of those are children as well. The house a complete loss. You can see it here from Sky 9 over the scene live right now. So Route 5 is still shut down in both directions. Where the house happened, or where the fire happened, is at Sherry Lane. So between Loveville Road and Sherry Lane on Point Lookout Road is where we have our closure. We also have an accident on 95 heading northbound by Plank Road, and in Arlington on Route 50, Arlington Boulevard. You'll see an accident blocking 2 of your left lanes by Route 27. Okay, let's check in with Kristen now to see what's coming up here on Great Day Washington. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning, Ellen. If you've ever had a secret but you don't know who to share it with, this is your man right here. Frank Warren, the founder of Post Secret, going to share some of his favorites with us. Maybe you have a secret that you don't want to tell your kids, that you don't know how you're going to pay for college. We've got an expert here to give you some tips on how to do just that. We'll see you at 9.